Over the last 40 years, he's driven 4 million miles without a single accident. Last night, Roger Zima's impressive driving record earned him the Minnesota Trucking Association's 2024 Minnesota Driver of the Year. Joe Mason spoke with a trucker from Becker County about the prestigious award.
But, I was kind of dreading the E-log coming, but I love it. They did some tweaking on it, that if you set, 2 or 3 consecutive hours, you get them hours back. It's right. If something would happen, there it is, and
right.
It can save you some, maybe from if you had a bad incident, and I'm used to, I've been on E-lug since 2018, and I don't have a problem at all with it.
I have Roger Zima on here with Foltz Trucking. Roger, thanks for coming on the BulkLoads Podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. It's glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, I know, man, trying to get this coordinating has been a little bit of a fiasco. Not any trouble on your, because you're on the road driving, and we wanted to honor you and get you in there. So, man, thanks for just taking time out of your busy schedule. But you were nominated back in February for Driver of the Month. Can you explain kind of why that was, or why you got nominated?
Well, I've been out on the road. I've been with Foltz Trucking here it'll be 40 years. Sometime this summer here, I think January or July or August maybe. And the Minnesota Trucking Association had reached out to Corey here, and they said, we know you have some older drivers that have been with you for many years with good driving records, and was wondering if you would care to submit a couple of names. So they had me come in. I had to sign a consent form that was okay to submit my name. So I was picked for the Driver of the Month for the month of November of this year. Then January, we had to go down to the cities to a banquet. There was one for each month, so there was 12 of us there. It was a formal, suit and tie, white and work dresses. It was actually a really nice deal. So they asked us to send in a few pictures of our hobbies or what we do in our off season or spare time, family, stuff like that. And then they wrote each company wrote a little article about the driver as they march us up, with your spouse. And it was all a pretty good, nice deal. And they showed the pictures and stuff like that. And then narrated your accomplishments. And Kenny here done mine. And out of them 12, they picked me, and it was because of the years of service with the company, the 4 million plus miles, accident-free miles that I've had.
Wow.
So I guess that's what qualified me for the award.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'd love to just dig in and hear a little bit more about your story. So you said it was 30 years ago when you first started driving for Foltz?
No, it'll be 40.
Oh, 40. Yeah, I'm sorry. 40 years ago. Wow.
I started driving when I was 21 years old. I just got a driving job with a gravel company out of Moorhead over here. I did that for 4 seasons, seasonal work. So in the fall of '79, I bought a truck of my own.
Yep.
Started hauling some grain, just some local elevators into like Duluth, Superior, the big port up there, and into Minneapolis. I met up with Frankie Foltz here in '82, I think, and he started giving me a few loads back in the spring of the year with stuff, fertilizing stuff back up to our area. And in '85, I leased onto him. So I've been here ever since. So apparently they've been good to me. I stuck around this long,
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Why did you want to get into trucking in the first place? Was it just something that you kind of fell in, or did you actually have a passion for it? And obviously you stuck with it.
Well, my dad had a small cattle route around the area just for local farmers back in those days. It just went into West Fargo. And so trucks was kind of in our family a little bit. And, I graduated from high school, didn't really want to go on to college, didn't know for sure what I wanted to do. So a friend of mine had this job over in Moorhead driving this gravel truck. And he had said to me one day, they're going to put on some more drivers. So I got my CDL license and applied over there, and they hired me. And I guess the more I'd done it, I enjoyed it, and I still do. I like what I'm doing now. I'm on, I'm with Foltz here. We're on different roads. I do different things pretty much every day. It's not a repetitive route every day. So I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm going to hang around for a while, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I was up at the Foltz. It was like the safety day last fall, and I may have said hi to you or not, but man, I was really impressed overall. Just obviously the organization of Foltz, but then how they put that conference on that day. They had Acuity, which I think is the insurance company that works with Foltz on their risk management and all that. But it was interesting again how much they made safety part of the culture, part of the system. Honestly, you've had, I mean, that many accident-free miles, like it's just hard to fathom. And again, I know that it's hard to dissect being safe, but just talk about like how do you go that many million miles with having no accidents? Because again, in today's age with, distracted driving, congestion, I go through the whole list of things. Like, I mean, that's not very common. How have you been able to accomplish that?
Well, that is a good question, I guess. Well, I can't take my time. You gotta really pay attention at what's around you, because like you said, there's a lot of distracted drivers
Yeah.
nowadays that just don't have the respect for a truck and just don't give us room either. So you got to be driving their vehicle as well as your own. And I mean, I've had my chances. I've had some close ones. I ain't gonna, it's
Right.
just part of the territory. But I've been able to avoid some, and it's I don't know, a lot of luck maybe, or a little help from above or something. I don't know, but I've had a good run for sure. That's for sure. So I was
Yeah.
telling the guys here, I says, I hope you don't jinx me now with all these interviews and stuff about the safe driving award. I've only got not too many more years left, hopefully, and I like to keep it that way if I could.
Yeah. I mean, do you talk to some of the younger drivers about the driving and I mean, talking about just things to do on the road? I mean, obviously there's the basics, but just really helping coach these guys. Cause I think sometimes you got to have a mindset that you're going to be, you're going to have so many miles accident free.
Well, you just gotta tell them to keep your space if you can. I know it's really hard to get into the metros. You got if you don't keep up with it, they're passing you and they're cutting you off. It's everybody's got to figure it out, I guess, on their own. But yeah, there's some tips. Just pay attention and adjust your speed, especially when you get we're talking 4 or 5 inches of snow again tomorrow night up here, so we got that to deal with as well. Wind, and so you just gotta adjust your speed, take your time, give yourself a little chance, and give yourself an out if things do go bad in a hurry. But I know it's not always avoidable.
It's
But
almost like you're saying you got to have to have patience.
yeah, you do. You do. And I'm getting better at that as I get older. I used to be just get her done, but I've been good the last few years. Seem like I got more time to just let's get her done. Let's do it right. So we're the shiny side is up tomorrow.
Yeah. If you can, I would like to just share a little bit about Foltz and the organization as a whole. Obviously, you've been there for a long time, but what's allowed you to stay there, or why have you stayed there at Foltz? We know driver turnover is huge with a lot of companies. It seems like Foltz has just done an amazing job of retaining drivers. Again, when I was up there, man, I spoke with, I mean, lots of drivers that were there, 20, 30 plus years, and still driving. Why do you think that is?
Well, we have good equipment. I'll, I think people like the bulk loads that we're hauling. To me, that's a lot easier work than tarping on a flatbed or lumping off a reefer or dry van.
Yeah.
We got good runs, I feel. So yes, you're right. We have a lot of drivers, 20 plus years with this company. And for me, they were local, and they're family run, family owned. They
Yeah.
got good people throughout the whole office here. They got great office people. Our shop is good. Um, and they want us to be happy. They want us to do good. Um, I can share a little story with you. A personal story of mine happened in 2002. I was in a bad snowmobile accident. Had a serious leg injury. I was down for 9 months. So Frank come up and he says, "Well, let's not worry about your truck payments." He says, "We'll sort that all out when you get healed up." And we didn't know it was going to be 9 months, but it ended up being that long. And finally, he called me one day. He says, I can put a driver in your truck. I got a good guy sitting right here. So he did that for me. He didn't have to do that. He could have put that driver in one of his trucks. So they do care. They do care about people. So, and then, Kenny, he's always a positive man. He's always looking forward. So he had nothing, they wanted to see me through this. Tom,
Yeah.
the first 3 months, I was pretty much a bedridden. When once I was able to get around, and Tom would have me come down and said, bring your wife down, we'll take the pontoon out. And I think that probably helped me mentally to keep my senses, because it was a rough period for me laying there for 9 months. I'm used to being active. I'm an active man. I'm busy all the time. And that was rough on me, but they were there. They were there for me.
Yeah.
And that's not the reason I'm still here, probably, but I have a lot of respect for them, and I'll never forget what they've done for me.
Yeah.
And but they're just an all around good company. They treat you good. I have nothing bad to say about the company. I've been here, I say, 40 years.
Yeah.
And if they weren't good, I wouldn't be here this long.
Yeah. Well, that speaks volume on something that happened, heck, 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Your snowmobile, and still remembering that to this day. Just about what you do right now, you say they got good runs and all that. I'm just kind of curious, like, over the course of a year, do you hit all 48 states? How often are you home? Kind of how's your schedule during the week?
When I first started here, I run the upper Midwest, probably 15 states, the Midwest states, North, South Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, Kansas, over as far as Ohio to the east, and then 2 provinces of Canada. I still run some of Canada a little bit. So that's basically all the states I've been in, probably these middle 15 states. And that's probably what kept me out of these accidents. The traffic is bad over here. And it's good running. You got good farm communities. It's enjoyable work, where we run.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like the type of freight we're hauling. So and right now I'm maybe gone one night a week. I'm usually on the canola run, which is most of our local dairies around here, and bringing product back. That's what I did today. Brought a little back in the toughies on the way home. And I do the dry edible bean run that goes to Faribault down in Faribault, Minnesota. That comes out of like around Grand Forks areas where we load that stuff, and just runs like that. It's like I say, it's something a little bit different every day and keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Do they, Foltz, you've been there again, 40 years. Is there like a seniority system to this guys that have been there longer? You get maybe more the preference of runs versus younger guys, or does that not really matter?
Well, yes, it does somewhat. Like us older guys, they'll let us pick and choose more if we want to be closer to home. I know the younger guys, they're out on longer runs than, at least for me anyway. I think there's something, a little bit of seniority thing there, but a lot of our loads we can pick and choose, what you want to do, where you want to go. So
yeah,
that works out nice. Yeah.
Last question, and I'll let you go. Talk about the equipment that you run. Volvos. I know in our industry, you see a lot more long noses way. When I was up there, Ken and Frank talked about them, but you guys run newer model equipment, the Volvos, but just your experience. Cause again, that with those, you have a lot of technology with those.
Well, just getting back to this award here, when they was doing that show that night, they said that organization been doing this award since the 1940s, and that's 80 years ago. And I was just kind of, what kind of equipment did they have in the 1940s? And even when I started in the 70s to what it is now, it's just an unbelievable improvement. Our trucks are comfortable. We got cruise control. We got hour shift transmissions. We got lane departure stuff. Some of that stuff isn't always good, but it's all there for safety, and we have.
The trucks are actually better to drive now than they.
Oh, they're so comfortable. Yes. Well, you can sit in there up here, and when she's 20 below zero in a t-shirt, looks like you're wearing right now, and they're nice and warm, and you got air conditioning, so she's cool in the winter or summertime. No, they got all the comforts in the world in them. Yeah. I have a refrigerator in mine. I have TVs, and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Just again, I think about how technology's evolved. And again, there's still a lot of those older working class trucks out there. There's some people that prefer those pre-emission trucks, but I know Foltz has always been on the cutting edge of brand new equipment, the latest technology. And I think that attributes to the success of the company, but even the safety of the company, which is the success of the company, is just investing in that technology that makes everybody in the organization safer.
Yes, I'm thinking it does. Yeah, you're right, Frank. He was always on the cutting edge, but he wanted to see what's out there coming out new all the time. I gotta get a kick out of that. And yes, they want to rebuild them old trucks to stay away from the emissions and also the e-logs.
Yeah.
Prior to 2000, but I was kind of dreading the e-log coming, but I love it. They did some tweaking on it. That if you set, 2 or 3 consecutive hours, you get them hours back. It's right. If something would happen, there it is, and
Right.
it can save you some, maybe from if you had a bad incident, and I'm used to, I've been on e-lug since 2018, and I don't have a problem at all with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, just to sum it up, I think it speaks volume that Corey and Ken and Frank wanted you to come on this show and broadcast on our podcast, which reaches thousands of people in the Bulk community. I can say there's trucking companies that probably wouldn't want their drivers to be on a show like this. But again, it shows testament to you and the organization of how they value you as a driver employee and even want to share that out there for others to say. So, yeah, I just want to say, Roger, man, first off, congratulations on Driver of the Year. But again, I don't think that's a small feat I know it's not a small feat to have that many accident-free miles. I mean, that's got to be an elite class of drivers out there. So congratulations for that. And I just want to say, man, dude, like for your age, I mean, you're still rocking it, still running. You still look healthy as all get out. So man, keep up the good work.
It must be a trucker life, right?
That's true. But no, I appreciate it, man. God bless you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.